Hi, Miss Santine here, and I am going over Grade 2, Module 1, Lesson 8. Today's goal is to take from 10 to subtract within 100. Let's get started. Let's begin by working this word problem out. Now remember, anytime you see a word problem, we want to use RDW. Read carefully, draw a model, then write a number sentence and a statement. Here it says, Jacob has 13 bouncy balls. He gives 8 of them to his friend Pete. How many bouncy balls does Jacob have left? Right, it's great to label the word problem. We know that Jacob has 13 bouncy balls and that he gives 8 of them away. This is a clue letting us know what we have to do in order to solve the problem. The question asks, how many bouncy balls does Jacob have left? Notice it is using that keyword left, also letting you know that you have to subtract. So our number sentence for this word problem is 13 minus 8. Today we're going to use the take from 10 strategy, which we have been working on for the past couple lessons. We're going to now write the number sentence, the equation, 13 minus 8. Now, the next step is to decompose the greater number, which is 13. I want to decompose this number into tens and ones by placing the 10, taking from that 10, on the right. Next, if I took the 10 from 13, my other part will be a 3. So this is the very first step. Next, I want to subtract 10 minus 8. And I can either keep that number in my head. What is 10 minus 8? It equals 2. Or I can write that step down. The third and last step is to then bring down the numbers that are left over. We have the number 2 left over, and we have the number 3. So now we want to add those numbers. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Therefore, our answer to the problem is 5. 13 minus 8 equals 5. So what is the statement? The question asked, how many bouncy balls does Jacob have left? Jacob has 5 bouncy balls left. Great job. Now let's do some more. Solve using the take from 10 strategy. So here we have, I'll start with 24 minus 9. So that means we want to take 110. That is the strategy. 110 from 24. So here you really have to think about your tens. If you're taking 110 from 24, how many tens do you have left? Right, you have 110 left, but you also have 4 ones. So you have 14 on your other part. And this is where it can get a little bit tricky for some of you. 14 plus 10 makes 24. Or 14 and 10 make 24. So now the following step would be to subtract 10 minus 9. 10 minus 9 equals 1. Let's now do the last step, which is to bring down the 1 and then to add the next number part, which is the 14. 1 plus 14, we can do mentally. 1 plus 14 equals 15. Therefore, 24 minus 9 equals 15. Great work. Now you try it. Try 15 minus 7 using the take from 10 strategy. Try to follow all the steps, all 3 steps. Check your answer in a bit. Great, so remember you are breaking down 15, the greater number, into tens and ones. This one we know we can just take the 10, and then we're left with 5 as our other number part when we decompose 15. 5 and 10 make 15, or 10 plus 5 equals 15. Our following step is then to subtract first 10 minus 7, which is the strategy to take from the 10 to subtract. This number fact we know, and if we don't, we can use our fingers, which is why we want to do it this way. 10 minus 7 is 3. And then the last step is to bring that number over and add the number part that's left over, which is the 5. And 3 plus 5 is 8. 15 minus 7 equals 8. Do some more and see how fast you can do it. Let's solve using the take from 10 strategy. Let's begin by solving once again 64 minus 9. Remember, the take from 10 strategy means that one of our parts, when we decompose 64, will be a 10. And we want to place it on the right. That way we can see that 10 minus 9, we're going to subtract first. But before that, we want to make sure we include our other number part. We cannot forget that part. If we took one 10 from the 6, how many 10s do we have left? Right, we have 5 10s left. And we only have to add the 4 ones down. 54 plus 10 makes 64, or 10 plus 54 equals 64. Now, I can subtract 10 minus 9, which equals 1, and then add the next part, which is 54, and that makes 55. 64 minus 9 equals 55. Now notice I did leave out one step, but that is just if you feel comfortable doing it mentally. Let's do that one more time, and then it'll be your turn to show me what you've learned today. Notice the equation 55 minus 7. We want to break down 55, or decompose 55. We want one number part to be a 10, because that is the take 10 strategy. And since we took a 10 from 55, we took one 10 from 5 tens, we have 4 tens left, but we also have 5 ones. First step, done. Now we want to subtract 10 minus 7, which equals 3. And lastly, we want to bring those numbers down, which is 3, plus the number that's left over, 45. 3 plus 45, we can count up. 45 plus 3 more equals 48. So 55 minus 7 equals 48. Now you can work out the application problem. Don't forget to follow the RDW method. Read the problem carefully, draw a model, and write a number sentence and a statement. Here it says, Emma has 45 pencils. 8 pencils are sharpened. How many pencils are not sharpened? Right, so we have the number 45. We know that Emma has 45. We know that 8 of them are sharpened. But the question is asking how many pencils are not sharpened. So this means that we want to subtract 45 minus 8 because we know she already has 8 that are sharpened. And we want to find out how many are not sharpened. We will continue to use the take from 10 strategy. Remember to start by decomposing the greater number, which in this case is 45. Take from 10 means that we are going to take a 10 from 45. We're going to take one 10, and that's going to be our first number part. And since we took one 10 from 4 tens, that means we have 3 tens left over, and the 5 ones can just come on down, 35. 35 plus 10 makes 45. The following step will be to subtract 10 minus 8. 10 minus 8 equals 2. Next step is to bring the 2 down along with the other number part, which is the 35. And we're going to add those numbers now because we've already subtracted the 8. So 2 plus 35, we can do mentally or count up. 35, 36, 37. It equals 37. So 45 minus 8 equals 37. And now we are ready to answer the question with a statement. How many pencils are not sharpened? 37 pencils are not sharpened. You are now ready for the problem set. Take your textbooks out, your worksheets, or simply work these out on paper. Remember to follow the take from 10 strategy, which means that you are decomposing numbers, then working them out mentally, or you're following all 3 steps. Remember to pause the video when needed. Now let's debrief. Remember to choose one of these questions that you would like to discuss. You can answer this question by writing it on paper, in your notebook, in your problem set, or even on the comments below. Look at problem 1. What patterns do you see? What did you do to solve? How did you solve problem 2? Can you figure out the math goal of today's lesson? What name would you give this lesson? Thanks for tuning in. As always, until next time. Bye.